What if the real reason your circulation feels weaker in the morning isn't just age? What if it's not simply because you're getting older, but because your body is no longer recovering the way it used to while you sleep? For a lot of men over 50, the signs show up slowly. Heavier legs, colder hands and feet, less morning energy, a body that feels slower, less responsive, less alive than it used to. And the frustrating part is this: many men are already trying. They take supplements, they eat healthy, they try to do the right things, but nothing really changes. And sometimes that happens for one simple reason. The problem isn't always what you take, it's whether your body can actually use it. That's what makes this nighttime ritual interesting, because instead of throwing more random products at the problem, it focuses on 4 specific ingredients mixed into extra virgin olive oil to support blood flow, vascular function, and overnight recovery. Not as a miracle, not as a quick fix, but as a simple nightly habit that may help your body work better while you sleep. In this video, we'll break down those 4 ingredients, explain why olive oil matters so much, and at the end, I'll give you the exact formula and timing you can try tonight. Because sometimes better circulation doesn't begin with doing more. It begins with doing something smarter. As men get older, circulation usually doesn't collapse overnight. It declines quietly. The inner lining of the blood vessels becomes less responsive, inflammation becomes more common, stress hormones stay elevated longer, sleep gets lighter, recovery becomes less efficient, and that combination creates the perfect environment for weaker blood flow. That's why this topic matters. Because circulation is not just about the heart pumping blood. It's about whether the blood vessels can relax properly. It's about whether the body is producing the right signals. It's about whether inflammation and oxidative stress are interfering with the system. And it's about whether your body gets enough recovery at night to repair what the day wears down. Most people only focus on daytime habits, but nighttime is when the body shifts into repair mode. That's when inflammation can settle. That's when hormones rebalance. That's when the vascular system has a chance to recover. So if you want to support circulation naturally, the hours before bed may be one of the smartest windows to work with. And that brings us to the base of this entire routine. At first, olive oil sounds too simple, but that's exactly why so many people underestimate it. Extra virgin olive oil is not just there for flavor. It acts like a delivery system. Many plant compounds are fat-soluble, which means they are absorbed better when taken with fat instead of plain water. That matters a lot here, because several of the ingredients in this ritual work far better when they are dissolved into a fat source. Olive oil, especially high-quality extra virgin olive oil, contains oleic acid and natural polyphenols, and it helps create a medium that may improve how these compounds move through the digestive tract. So, in this routine, olive oil is not just the base, it's the carrier. It helps turn a few separate ingredients into one more usable combination. And once that foundation is there, the real strategy begins. Let's start with ingredient number 4. This is one of the simplest combinations in the whole ritual, but it's also one of the most important. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound that has been studied for its relationship with inflammation. Why is that relevant to circulation? Because chronic inflammation can quietly damage vascular function over time. It can interfere with nitric oxide signaling. It can make blood vessels less flexible. And when that happens, blood flow becomes less efficient. The challenge with turmeric, though, is absorption. Curcumin on its own is not easily absorbed by the body. That's why black pepper matters. Black pepper contains piperine, a compound known to dramatically increase curcumin absorption. In one well-known study published in Planta Medica, combining curcumin with piperine increased absorption by up to 2,000%. That's a huge difference. And that single number explains why pairing ingredients properly matters so much more than most people realize. Turmeric alone sounds healthy, but turmeric plus black pepper plus olive oil becomes a much more practical formula. Now you're addressing inflammation and improving the body's chance of actually using the compound. A simple way to use it is 1 teaspoon turmeric powder plus a small pinch of black pepper mixed into 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Stir it together until smooth. That gives you the first layer of this nighttime ritual, helping reduce the inflammatory pressure that can make blood vessels less responsive over time. And once that's in place, the next ingredient builds on it beautifully. Now let's talk about raw cacao. Not sweetened chocolate powder, not sugary cocoa mix, pure, raw, non-alkalized cacao. This matters because cacao contains flavonols, including epicatechin, which have been studied for their role in supporting nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is one of the key molecules that tells blood vessels to relax and expand. That matters because healthy circulation depends on blood vessels being able to open when needed. When nitric oxide signaling improves, blood can move more smoothly. Peripheral circulation can feel better, and the body may experience less resistance throughout the vascular system. One clinical study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that after consuming flavanol-rich cacao, flow-mediated dilation increased from 3.4% to 6.3% in a short period of time. That's one reason cacao keeps showing up in discussions around vascular health. But cacao may do more than support nitric oxide. Its compounds may also help support the quality and duration of blood vessel relaxation. So instead of just giving the body a brief signal, it may help the blood flow response last longer. That makes cacao especially interesting in a nightly routine, because you're not chasing a burst of stimulation. You're trying to support smoother overnight vascular recovery. To use it, add 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw cacao powder directly into the olive oil mixture. Stir it well. At this point, the ritual is doing 2 things: helping reduce inflammatory stress, helping support blood vessel relaxation. And that combination already makes more sense than random supplements taken without timing, without synergy, and without a clear goal. Now let's move to the ingredient that may be the most important for men who are tired, stressed, and waking up feeling like they never fully recovered. This is where the conversation shifts from circulation alone to recovery. Because one of the biggest hidden enemies of vascular health after 50 is stress. More specifically, cortisol. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, the body struggles to fully relax. Blood vessels stay tighter. Sleep becomes shallower. The nervous system stays more activated, and the body doesn't enter the deep restorative state it needs at night. That means even if you're eating well and taking supplements, your recovery may still be blocked by a stress-heavy internal environment. Ashwagandha is interesting because it's often described as an adaptogen, meaning it may help the body regulate its response to stress. And that matters for circulation because stress and blood flow are deeply connected. A randomized controlled study published in the Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine found that ashwagandha helped reduce serum cortisol by up to 27.9% after 60 days. That's a measurable shift, not just a vague promise. And when cortisol comes down, the body is in a better position to rest, repair, and allow blood vessels to relax more normally. Ashwagandha has also been associated with improved sleep quality in some studies. And that matters because better sleep is not just about feeling rested. It's about entering the right hormonal and physiological state for recovery. To use it in this ritual, add 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of ashwagandha powder into the olive oil mixture. The taste may be a bit earthy, but when blended into the oil with cacao and turmeric, it becomes much more manageable. This ingredient matters because it addresses something many blood flow discussions ignore completely: the role of stress in shutting down recovery. And if your body never fully relaxes at night, it should not be surprising when circulation feels worse in the morning. Now we come to the final ingredient, the most overlooked one, and the one that adds a long-term protection layer to the entire formula. When most people think of pomegranate, they think of juice. But the ingredient here is different. It's cold-pressed pomegranate seed oil. And this is where the ritual becomes more advanced. Because this ingredient is less about immediate sensation and more about protection. Pomegranate seed oil contains unique fatty acids and antioxidant compounds that have been studied for their role in helping protect the vascular system from oxidative stress. Why does that matter? Because over time, oxidation damages blood vessels. It contributes to endothelial stress. It makes the system less efficient. And it plays a role in the long-term wear and tear that often comes with aging. Some research has linked pomegranate compounds with increased activity of an enzyme called PON1, which is associated with protection against lipid oxidation. In one study published in Atherosclerosis, pomegranate-related compounds were shown to increase PON1 activity by up to 40%. That's important because the body doesn't just need better blood flow signals. It also needs protection against the oxidative damage that gradually weakens the system in the first place. To add this final layer, use 1/2 to 1 teaspoon cold-pressed pomegranate seed oil and stir it into the mixture. Now your nightly ritual is no longer focused on one single mechanism. It supports 4 areas at once: inflammation balance, nitric oxide and vascular signaling, stress and sleep-related recovery, oxidative protection. That is what makes the formula feel strategic instead of random. And this is the key lesson. None of these ingredients is magical by itself. That's not the point. The point is that they support different pieces of the same puzzle. Turmeric and black pepper may help calm inflammatory pressure. Cacao may help support nitric oxide and blood vessel relaxation. Ashwagandha may help the body shift away from stress and into better recovery. Pomegranate seed oil may help protect the vascular system from oxidative damage. And olive oil helps carry them all. This is why combinations matter. Because circulation problems are rarely caused by just one thing. They're usually the result of several small problems stacking up over time. So, a smarter routine does not try to force one dramatic effect. It supports multiple weak points gently and consistently. That's exactly what this protocol is trying to do. So here's the full version you can try. Take 1 tablespoon extra virgin olive oil, 1 to 2 teaspoons raw cacao powder, 1 teaspoon turmeric powder, a small pinch of black pepper, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon ashwagandha powder, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon cold-pressed pomegranate seed oil. Stir everything thoroughly until it becomes a thick, glossy, golden brown paste. Take it directly from a spoon about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. That timing matters because it gives your body a chance to start processing these compounds as it enters its natural overnight repair cycle. If you don't want to start with the full formula, that's fine. You can begin with olive oil plus 1 or 2 ingredients and build from there. But the main thing is consistency. This is not meant to act like caffeine. This is not meant to feel dramatic after one night. It's meant to support the body gradually through repetition. That's where the real value is. Now let's keep this grounded. This is not a replacement for medical care. It is not a cure, and it should never be treated like a substitute for movement, a healthy diet, proper sleep, or professional advice. But that doesn't mean it has no value. Because many meaningful health changes happen quietly. Not instantly, quietly. You may notice things like waking up with better warmth in the hands or feet, less heaviness in the legs, better morning alertness, a greater sense that your body feels more responsive, improved restfulness after a few consistent weeks. That's the right mindset. Not, will this change everything tonight? But, will this support better recovery over time? That's a much smarter question. And for many men over 50, that shift in mindset is just as important as the ingredients themselves. So here's the real takeaway. Aging doesn't automatically mean your circulation has to keep getting worse, but it does mean your body needs better support than it did 20 years ago. Better timing, better recovery, better combinations. And sometimes, something as simple as 1 spoonful before bed can become a useful part of that support system. not because it's magic, but because it works with the body during the hours when the body is already trying to repair itself. So tonight, instead of thinking only about what to take, think about when to take it, how to take it, and whether your body can actually use it. Because that small shift in thinking may be the difference between doing more and finally doing something that makes sense. And in the next video, we're going to look at another simple nighttime habit that seems harmless, but may be quietly affecting your sleep, your energy, and your long-term health in ways most people never realize.